Transformations are a big point in Dragon Ball history. They are pivotal points in moments, pivotal points in character evolution, and more. Now, Goku is no small to that one. He's had a lot of transformations over the 30 to 40 plus years of Dragon Ball being around. Now, imagine this. What if Goku theoretically can combine these transformations, mixing them together to make something new, something evolved? And how could this even happen? Well, we're going to go back to Bardock. Now, Bardock, being the smart man that he is, he would have visions earlier than before of Frieza destroying the Saiyan race. And he knows that he cannot match Frieza's strength, but he knows he can help his son. King Vegeta, the man himself, was working with scientists to find a way to enhance Saiyan's ability, to find a way to master the Akari form. This way was where they can boost what they found within themselves, their S cells. They found this. Now, every Saiyan does have S cells. Most of their accounts are very low. That's the reason why they've never unlocked Super Saiyan. It really ties into how strong you are, and also how much of a good spirit you are as well to use the power of a Super Saiyan. Well, Bardock here, they were working on it to enhance the Grade 8 power, finding ways to make it stronger, and maybe more controlled, and smaller as well, to make it easier to fight, so it's not lumbering movements. And they can transform at will. Well, while they were working on this, Bardock decides to take the experimental version and give it to his son. He knows that with this, if there ever is a transformation, he will be the one that can master it, and he doesn't know how far it could go. It has the potential to compare, but he knows that this will help his son become stronger and master forms even more, and potentially master the Great Ape state. But Bardock doesn't realize that this will work better than what they even imagine. Goku was lucky. Bardock would still send his son off, where Bardock would then distract Frieza, as the Saiyans did not listen to him. They didn't believe that Frieza would turn on them. They thought Bardock was crazy, and Bardock just lost his team. And so, Bardock would then fly up and sacrifice himself against Frieza's supernova, destroying him alongside with all the Saiyans, only leaving a handful of Saiyans left in the entire universe. Goku would still land on Earth, where he would be met by Grandpa Gohan. Now, this would of course go the exact same, where Grandpa Gohan would then raise the boy as his own, raising Goku and teaching him everything that he knows about martial arts. The first time when Goku transforms into a great ape, he didn't realize that he did. As in the original story, he actually killed his grandfather, and he thought it was some kind of large monster. But they didn't know that when a Saiyan looks at the moon, he transforms. And since Goku has had no training, he couldn't control the Great Ape state. So the first time that he did transform, Goku does not have a lot of control, and he still ended up killing his grandfather. Now Goku, in this timeline, he actually remembers it. This is a different story for this original, because Goku had no memory. He realized that he did turn into a giant monster. He could see memories and flashes of it. This proves that he already has more control than he ever did before, and that was his first time ever turning into it as a young child. Now, Bulma was on her summer vacation searching for the Dragon Balls. She would still meet Goku, and she would discover that he does have the 4-star Dragon Ball. For those who somehow don't know what the Dragon Balls are, they are 7 magical wishing orbs made by the being known as Kami, who is the god of Earth. He's a Namekian, an alien race. These beings have access to magic, and some of these beings can form Dragon Balls. It takes over a year to process, but when you do, and you collect all 7 Dragon Balls, you will be able to grant a wish, as a large dragon named Shenron will appear, and he will grant any wish you desire. Once when the wish is done, the Dragon Balls would then dissipate across the sky and turn to stone for a period of time, before they reactivate again. And that is Bulma's dream. Her original dream is she actually wanted the ideal boyfriend. She wanted the perfect boyfriend for her. But we know that that changes on. Goku and Bulma, who decides to team up, would meet Master Roshi, the legendary martial artist, the most powerful man in the world. He would then give them the 3-star Dragon Ball and the Flying Nimbus, which is a floating yellow cloud. Now, this cloud only lets pure beings ride upon it. Bulma sadly couldn't, but Goku's pure of heart and he could ride Nimbus no problem. Now he decides to give Nimbus as it was a reward for bringing him his turtle back and giving a seawater. Now as the days pass, Goku would then help stop the reign of the terrible Oolong, and the old woman would give Bulma and him the 6-star Dragon Ball. And this is where he would also travel across the deserts, where they would meet the bandit Yamcha, where Goku would actually lose. And this is because Goku was hungry, and he was a bit woozy, and Yamcha would use his Wolf Fang Fist. Now this is where we see a pivotal point when Roshi used the legendary Kamehameha to put out the flames on the Frying Pan Mountain. Now although he destroys the mountain along with the castle as well, among the debris, they do find the 7-star Dragon Ball. This is where the story will take its different turn. When Goku defeats Boss Rabbit and his gang, sending them to the moon, Mai and Shu secretly steal the Dragon Balls from Goku and the gang. Pilaf would still summon Shenron, but Oolong would still make his goofy wish. This is when Goku and his teammates were all captured in Pilaf's castle. And when Goku looks at the moon, he transforms again. Now Goku at first was going crazy, destroying the castle, losing his mind. But then something changes. Goku begins taking control. It's almost naturally. This is because of what Bardock gave him. Goku is naturally adapting and mastering this transformation at a fast rate. And helping and seeing his friends makes it even easier. Goku would then have full control over the Great Ape State. And in this Great Ape State, Goku would then goof off as he then jumps around and plays around as everyone was terrified, but Goku actually speaks. And he says that he's in full control and he's okay. Then Goku would revert back as the night ended, and so Goku and Krillin become Master Roshi's students. Now Roshi knows that Goku can turn into a great ape, and it's incredible. As Goku would then be trained by Roshi to help him learn that power if there is a full moon again. And so, after they found launch, Roshi would also move his house to a larger island, and then they spend the next 7 months training. Now the first 3 of those months, whenever there was a full moon, Goku would then transform. Of course, away from Roshi's island, of course, as he would crush his house. And Goku was in full control, but every time he transformed, he actually shrunk in size. Initially, when he first transformed, he was around 50 feet. Now, when he transformed the second time, he was much shorter. He was only 30 feet, maybe 25 at most. And then the final time, he was maybe 20 feet, 15 at most. And Roshi realizes, why is he getting smaller and smaller? But his power is actually the same. He's only getting faster and not as lumbering. And then, at the final time, we would see Goku transform. Roshi didn't want him to transform no more just to be safe. And so, we would still have Goku and them train for the next 7 months as Roshi realizes that maybe he mastered this form enough and it's an emergency if he ever needed it. But he tells Goku that other than the full moon, it's a useless transformation. You can't turn into it as much. And then to his surprise, near the end of the 7 months of training, Goku, during broad daylight, transformed into the Great Ape. Mind you, he was still 15 or so feet tall, but still, he was able to transform into it at will. This would shock Roshi as Goku has this incredible transformation. But he tells Goku to be careful using it, and he says only use it for an emergency. Then Goku would agree. And so, Goku would then begin training himself. And so as the 7 months would pass fully, Goku has mastered so much. And so, Goku, Krillin, and Roshi would then leave Kami's house to participate in the 21st World Martial Arts Tournament. The biggest tournament in the world, where the most powerful fighters and martial artists all meet up to fight. This is when Roshi would then go under the alias of Jackie Chun. And he would fight Krillin, but then the main fight was Goku himself. Now, Roshi was overwhelming Goku, but Goku was holding his own. His talent was incredible, but Roshi seeing Goku with this transformation, Roshi's been training intensely as well. He's not been slacking off. And so Roshi has his edge back, and this helps him out in battle. As Goku would then transform into his great ape state, this would shock everybody, as Roshi realizes that if he was able to beat Goku, he can hit him with his full power. Roshi would then go into his buff state, as he would be so proud of Goku, and he says, "This will be my most powerful attack," as he then puts his hands together and he charges his full power Kamehameha. He then hits Goku full force with this attack, and it seems like Goku was initially defeated, but then something begins happening to Goku. Goku begins to change again. Being in this form for prolonged periods of time is evolving it, and Goku begins to shrink down further and further. As Goku then charges up a golden aura, he then shrinks fully down, and Goku is in Akari, or Broly's form. Now Goku is a few inches taller in this state, of course more buff, and he has the yellow eyes, and his hair is standing up. Everyone was shocked to see this. What happened to Goku? And Roshi realizes that he must have evolved further, and this must be the perfected power of the Great Ape form. Now he was worried for Goku. Is he in control? And Goku was, of course. Goku was in full control, but now he's not heavy, lumbering movements. He's faster than ever. And Goku would then knock out Roshi with a single strike, as Roshi was exhausted after firing that full power attack. And then, within the next day, after Goku was the winner, he ate all the earnings away though in one night, having over 50 full course meals, of course, as typical Goku nature. The next day was the start of the new era, the Red Ribbon Army Saga. The one difference here is Goku can access his Akari form whenever he needs to. Roshi does tell Goku to not become dependent on it, as that will just make him weaker. He needs to train his base body as well, because then that will make the transformation stronger. Only use it for when there is an opponent that you truly cannot match, and Goku understands this. So yes, Goku continues his training, and over the next days, he then fights the Red Ribbon Army with much more ease than the original because of his backup plan, the Akari. Goku and the Red Ribbon Army begin searching for the Dragon Balls. The Red Ribbon Army attained the 6-star and 5-star Dragon Ball, and after defeating Colonial Silver, Goku would end up in Jingle Village. He then takes down White Cobra Muscle Tower. Once when Bulma repairs the broken Dragon Radar, Goku would then fight General Blue. Now, originally Goku lost, but Goku would just tap into his Akari state and defeat him even before he arrives in Penguin Village. Mercenary Tao would also lose as well, as he wouldn't have killed Blue, but he tries attacking Goku. Goku would defeat him with zero effort. Mind you, Goku's power level around this time was around 120 to 130. Now, if you throw that into a 10 times multiplier, you're going to, of course, have a power level of over 1,200. And plus, this means that he is around the same power level as Raditz is earlier on in Dragon Ball, which shows how strong he is. No one can match his strength. And not only that, he has the speed, so he's not stuck as a large ape, or he's an easier target, and he's also limited to his tail as well. If his tail was removed, he would lose it, theoretically. And so, Goku would then see Korn's Tower, where he would actually climb up, and he would train under Korn for a couple of days to take the sacred water. Now, Yajirobe offered to help Goku reach Korn's Tower, of course, but he's lazy. He decides to stay down for now. And after 3 days of training, Goku attains the sacred water. Now, with his power, Goku gets a little bit stronger. He was able to beat and single-handedly destroy the Red Ribbon Army. Now, in Fortune Teller Baba's battle arena, Goku would easily defeat the opponents, but he was reunited with his dead grandfather. And so, 3 years would pass. Goku would then swim to Papa Island, where the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament was taking place. This is where we would see Tien Shenhan, where he was the main contestant to fight Goku. Now, Goku was trying to fight Tien Shenhan as his normal self, of course. Now, near the end, Goku would most likely tap into it for a moment to beat Tien by a few seconds, and Goku would then win. Goku was disappointed as he wanted to beat him with his own base power, not his Great Ape form, but he's okay as he still won and he's now the winner. But unfortunately, tragedy would then strike. Demon King Piccolo has broken out of his shell, and he is powerful. He would then spawn his children, who And one of them, named Tambourine, would kill his best friend Krillin. Goku was rage-filled. He would then find Yajirobe, and he would easily defeat Tambourine. Goku would then cross paths with the old Namekian Piccolo. But Piccolo was easily defeated this time. Goku enraged in his Akari state. Demon King Piccolo has no chance of fighting this monster, as he never knew that a being like this could even exist. It's almost godlike. As Goku would then fly right through Demon King Piccolo with no effort, as he would have enough time to spit out a reincarnation, Piccolo Jr. And so, this is when he would then blow up, as in turn, Goku would then be offered by Kami himself to be trained, under Mr. Popo as well, where he can help control this power even more. Now, in this timeline, Kami never removes Goku's tail, and even if he did, it wouldn't have mattered. He has Akari now, but he never removes Goku's tail, and he doesn't need to restore the moon. Because Uzaru, the only reason why he removed the tail was because Uzaru was so dangerous, and he couldn't control it. Now Tien, Yamcha, Krillin, and Chaozu climb Korin's tower, and after training under Korin, they split up and train on their own for the remaining time before the 23rd World Tournament. Now, under the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, a 18 to 19-year-old Goku has finally arrived. This is where he would still meet Chi-Chi and become engaged to her. Remember, Goku still hit his head in the original story, and in here. He doesn't have god powers, and he still thinks that marrying Chi-Chi was some kind of food. It makes sense for him to still get with Chi-Chi by this point. Now, Goku would then fight beings like Tien, and remove his way to clothing, but he's way too fast for Tien in this timeline, and Goku was able to manage. Now, this version of Goku is a little bit more powerful than the original, not by a massive margin. His power level in the original was around 336 or so. In this, it's around 350 to around 360. It's a little bit higher, but in this power scaling in early Dragon Ball, that is a big difference. And so, him and Chi-Chi would then get engaged, as then he would then fight Piccolo Jr. Now, Piccolo was very powerful, but Goku had the clear edge in battle, overwhelming Piccolo with not too much effort. This would be until Goku drops his guard. When he drops his guard, Piccolo would then fire a mouth beam, and it would hit Goku in the shoulder, badly wounding him. Now Piccolo would overwhelm Goku initially, until Goku then grabs his fist. As he then grows a couple inches in size, his muscle mass grows a little bit, he goes Akari. But with one arm is more than enough. He then gut punches Piccolo and nearly kills him, beating him severely. He then reverts back to normal and eats a sensu bean. He then gives Piccolo a sensu bean, shocking everybody as Kami was ready to kill Piccolo. But Goku stops him. He explains that Piccolo and Kami are the same being. They were just split apart, the good and the bad. He explains that if either one dies, then the Dragon Balls will disappear as well. And so, Piccolo was spared. He would then fly off, but he was terrified of Goku. He felt how strong he was. Even though Goku lost pretty much about half his power, he was still way far above Piccolo's strength. And it terrified Piccolo. He knew not to mess with that until he gets more training in. And so, 5 years have passed. Things are peaceful. Goku's enjoying time with Chi-Chi and their new son, Gohan, who is now 4 years old. Goku would then take Gohan to go to Master Roshi's island, where they would introduce each other and see their friends after so many years. Everybody was happy to see Gohan, they thought he was adorable, and so Goku would then sense a power though. He couldn't really describe it, but then we all know who it was, Raditz. Raditz is Goku's brother, a proud Saiyan warrior who was able to survive the planet's explosion. Luckily, he was on a mission with the Prince Vegeta and Nappa, a high-ranking Saiyan. He realized that he had a younger brother and that he could go find him and see if he could join their cause. Vegeta explained good, and if you fail, then the precautions will be pretty bad. And so Raditz says no problem, his brother's power level was stated to be weak, and he's on a weak planet, he'll get him no problem. Unless Raditz realizes that he's messing up. We would then have Raditz arrive on Earth, where he would then be spared by the farm with a shotgun, and he would then briefly spot with Piccolo, but Piccolo can't match him. Raditz then finds Goku, And this is where the story would then take a big turn than the original. This does arrive. Goku was surprised to see who this man was. He then sees the man has a tail. Raditz would explain who he is, that he is Goku's brother. Originally, his Saiyan name is Kakarot. Now Goku was surprised to see this and hear this information, but he says that he doesn't have a brother, and he doesn't know why he's here, but he needs to get out of here. Now Raditz doesn't listen, as when Krillin walks up to tell him to shoo off, Raditz then smacks him into the side of the house. Now Goku dropped his guard against Raditz, and he did this before. Raditz would then say that if you're not going to join, I will make you join. He then knees Goku before Goku could even do anything, knocking Goku down. He then takes Gohan and then flies off. Piccolo agrees to team up with Goku, and then they fly off to go after Raditz. Now, how powerful is Goku in this story? When he does take his weighted clothing off, his original base power was around 416. But mind you, Goku was already stronger in the story than the original, so his new power level will be around 450. Now, it's not a huge margin compared to someone like Raditz, but it's impressive, and Piccolo has gotten slightly stronger too. Piccolo's power is around 425 to 430, so he's actually gotten a little bit more powerful. Now, of course, Goku and Piccolo would then team up to battle Raditz, and they do slightly better than the original, but Raditz has the clear upper hand advantage. He's far above what they even imagined. As they were both knocked down, Piccolo then tells Goku it's no time to be messing around, you need to use that power, Goku. And Goku realizes to save his son, he has to. And so Raditz wonders, power? As his scouter then beeps and goes off, Goku's power begins to skyrocket. Now Raditz was in utter shock to see Goku's power level shoot up to 4,500 because Goku transformed into a Kari. But Raditz was confused. He's not a great ape, but what is that? Raditz thought maybe, is it a Super Saiyan? Could he be a Super Saiyan? Is that possible? As he then yells out his power level is 4,500, Vegeta and Nappa are hearing everything on the side. Goku would then charge in and gut punch Raditz, nearly ripping off his entire armor, nearly killing Raditz with a single strike. Raditz stands no chance. Even after firing his double Sunday attack, Goku slaps it away with ease and puts the beat down on Raditz. Raditz was severely wounded as he begins crawling away to his space pod as he opens it up, as Gohan then runs out, and he then pauses as he sees a scary green man and his dad. He couldn't really tell because Goku has long hair and yellow eyes and he's all buff looking. Goku then reverts back to normal as Gohan then runs towards him and tackles his father, and he was happy. And so Raditz then gets into the space pod. As Piccolo is about to kill him, Goku says no, show him what mercy means. Raditz then flies off as he then arrives to Vegeta and Nappa broken. Now he asked them for help, and Vegeta was actually kind of interested. A Saiyan can transform? He wants to see this, as he heard Goku's power level was 4,500, so he wasn't worried about it. Nappa was the only one who was a little bit nervous that his power level was near 5,000. Goku's power level, from what we officially know from sources, Nappa's power level was around 4,500 to at most 5,000. So it actually makes Nappa a bit nervous, but Vegeta says no worries, I can beat him with ease. He then looks at Raditz and he says, remember what we told you if you failed. He would then kill Raditz. I know some Raditz fans are upset about that, but I wanted to cement how dangerous Vegeta and Nappa are in the story. It also makes sense. Goku would not keep Raditz on Earth. Raditz just tried to kidnap his son, he hurt his friends. There's no way Goku would. Even if he was strong enough to stop him, he can't trust Raditz, so he lets Raditz leave. He gave what Vegeta was due as well, and Vegeta didn't even kill any of his friends. Theoretically, it was technically Nappa and Cyberman, but still. And so, this cements how dangerous Vegeta and Nappa are, killing Raditz with no effort. They would then make their way towards Earth. Now, Raditz already warned of two Saiyans arriving here with him again, more powerful than he is. And so, with this warning, he admits that it could be within a year's time. Now, Goku then spots on the ground Raditz's scouter, which Bulma takes, and she deciphers the communications, and it confirmed to be true. This Vegeta and Nappa are on their way, and they will be here within a year's time. She was also able to mess with the scouter to make it English letters and numbers, so she can actually see people's power levels. And so, the Z Fighters would then begin training. They have over a year. as Goku would then begin training Gohan. As he felt it, when Gohan was inside the space pod, he felt his rage, and he felt that Gohan had a spike in power. Piccolo felt it too, as they decide to train Gohan together. And so, both of them begin their training. Now, in this story, would Goku theoretically go to King Kai's world? Well, Kaioken is not a transformation. It is a technique. But, for fun what-if purposes, Goku does. When Goku arrives at Kami's lookout, after a couple months of training with Gohan, Kami then tells Goku that there is a teacher that could help Goku learn even further. And it's in the other world. When Goku does arrive, King Emma was not happy to see a mortal here, and the fact that he's still alive. But once when Goku persuades him with the fact that Vegeta and Nappa destroy Earth, that's over 7 to 8 billion people dying. And King Emma being sweating, he lets Goku go through. Goku would then fly this time because his power was much higher in his Akari state. Or if you want to say that he runs, Goku runs and jumps much further because he just goes Akari and he has full control over it. He gets to King Kai's pretty much a similar time because he's already trained for months on end already with Piccolo and Gohan. They only have a couple of months left. So he gets there about the same time, maybe a little bit faster, and he begins his training for the next 2 to 3 months. Now, the gravity initially does knock him down for a little bit, but he does adapt. Now, King Kai's never seen a Saiyan with that transformation. He figures out that you have fully controlled the Uzaru state to kind of hold it in your base power, and it's amazing. And he says, you're definitely unique. And so he offers to teach Goku. But he admits, though, that I don't think the Kaioken would work with this controlled Uzaru state. He says if you do, you could theoretically end yourself because Kaioken needs a fully calm state of mind. And you're already controlling a wild raging power. It wouldn't work. And he said, but, it could be a cool little side thing if maybe your Uzaru power doesn't work. But the Spirit Bomb is the biggest thing. So Goku still learns the Kaioken technique, as it was not too hard for him to master. But the Spirit Bomb was the biggest one, so he focuses more on the Spirit Bomb, mastering it to get faster with it and how to control it better. Now, Goku would then make it back to his friends. And in this story, yes, he was still a bit too late. He was faster than the original, but this was right when Piccolo sacrificed himself for Gohan, and Yamcha and them are still dead. Now, Krillin was in shock. Goku would then arrive and realize that he was too late as Piccolo is dead. They can't use the Dragon Balls now. Now, Frieza heard this, by the way, so now he's knowing that he's head dynamic. As Goku would begin to power up his base form, and Goku is more powerful than the original. He's had a whole extra month to train with King Kai than the typical around 2-3 months. He's had a whole extra month. So he's had more time to train, and he's already stronger than the original. So, end of the story, how strong is Goku? Well, Goku by this point, his power level was originally 8,000. 9,000 in the other filler, but the canon is 8,000. Goku here, having more time to train, his power level is 12,000. Now, Nappa would try to attack Goku thinking it's a fluke, but Goku would defeat Nappa with ease. As when Nappa does try to fly in to go after his friends, when Vegeta offers to fight Goku, Goku would just use Kaioken for a short burst, but that was enough to cripple Nappa where Vegeta would then kill him. Goku and Vegeta would then go battle. Unfortunately for Vegeta, when he does power up to full strength, he is above Goku. Now Goku tries using the Kaioken a little bit, but he realizes that it's not enough. Goku then goes into his grade 8, aka Akari state. In this state, his power was over 120,000, and he was overwhelming Vegeta with no effort. And he would beat Vegeta severely. When they do have a beam clash, this time around, the beam clash put Vegeta in an injured state near the end of the fight when he had to crawl towards the space pod. Not where Vegeta was able to get up. So there's no Spirit Bomb used. Vegeta wasn't even able to go grade 8. He doesn't even have enough energy to barely move. He begins crawling away as Krillin was ready to kill Vegeta, but Goku says no, let him go. He says show him what mercy means. And so, Vegeta says, you regret sparing me. He then flies off. Now, this is when Vegeta originally hears Frieza's plans. He then goes to planet Namek. Now, this, of course, changes the story. Goku being alive, this means that Goku was not injured. And so, Goku can go with his friends to planet Namek, with Bulma, Krillin, and Gohan. Or, you could say that Goku wanted to wait. He wants to wait to actually train in the gravity machine. So either way you want to look at it, we will look into those path roads and a huge change in the story in part 2. But anyway, that is it for this What If, you guys. Thank y'all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think down below about this unique What If. We'll really start seeing it in the later arcs though. Thank y'all for the support. I really do appreciate it. Let's get to 50,000 subscribers, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.